Hello everyone, my name is Gamal, this is Professor Valdir Rodrigues. Today I'm going to speak about our Lasso Guard. Few concepts and understandings of position and placement, levels of retention and mobility, and then we go over a few attacks, okay? But first here and briefly guys, let's speak about the understanding of guard. Guard in Jiu-Jitsu is basically a situation that we are going to be on the bottom and we are looking for protection. Okay, so see that we place our legs in front of our partner, whether we have full retention, which is our close guard, or we have partial retention, can be retaining one of the legs or placement only, feet on the hips, feet on the arms, controlling the legs somehow, okay? The most important aspect of the guard is the defense, protection. Again, as I said, I'm looking for try here to defend myself, protect my position, prevent my partner from advancing over my upper body, which is going to be eventually the situation where he crosses my legs, passes my legs, and reaches my upper body, situation that we call the side control position. So my priority would be prevent my partner from passing my guard easily. That's the most important part of guard. And of course, based on further development, we work on sweeps or potential submissions, okay? And today's movement, our lasso guard, the level of retention, the way that we are going to control our partner will be based on placement. And what does it mean? We are not going to have a full retention over the leg or over our partner's upper body, okay? We are going to control the arms. And it's a type of guard that offers mobility for who is on top and also naturally requires more mobility for who is on the bottom. Because comparing both positions, top and bottom, naturally that my partner on top has much more mobility. He can be standing, can be on his knees, can move from one side to the other, and I have to be able to, again, as we spoke already, be strong defensively. So my point here is I must hold my partner, control my partner, and then in order to execute something, stop him from moving or limit his movement, I will execute my movement, okay? So the lasso guard, we work today 3 attacks, 3 sweeps, situations where my partner is going to be on his knees with today limited mobility. And the idea of the lasso guard is I'll be holding here both of my partner. We are going to work here, guys, on both of the sleeves. Okay, so we hold both sleeves. So see that in order to control the sleeves, we commonly work on I hook. Look that I create here little pockets on the sleeve, and I hook my fingers. Okay, usually saving the thumb. We just hold here. Okay, so I hold the sleeves here, and as we know that we are going to have to open our guard and develop our movement. Remember that back on the ground, eventually detrimental, okay? So what do we want? I hold the sleeves and my placement will be based on, I will open my guard, one of my knees will be already here between of my partner's arms and see that my feet are already here against my partner's hips, and I'll be choosing one side. In this situation here, I'll be following the side where my leg is outside of the arms, okay? So I will hip escape. 1, remember that level of mobility, and 2, leg comes from the outside to inside, and see that I will hook my partner's shoulders, his armpit, bending my toes, and I pull my partner to me. So see that, that's our lasso guard, our retention. I can bend my knee as I'm doing now, I can extend my knee here as I'm doing also here. So see that it's based on control the distance, okay, pushing, eventually pulling, creating here a frame. We commonly call frames here. Our legs against our partner's biceps. When we place our feet against our partner's arms or hips, okay? Our obstacle. See that? We are creating obstacles, working our defense. We are always understanding that I want to develop my guard. I have to understand that my partner, again, can never break my grips easily and fast. So I'm always creating some protections, okay? So that's my protection. My shin against his bicep, my hook here, controlling the movement of the arm. And the opposite leg, we can eventually combine it with the half guard, we can combine it with the spider guard, we can eventually work on, for example, shin against the belly as we are going to work on our first movement. So see that, that's basically the approach, okay? And regardless of whether my partner is standing or when he's on his knees, the position of my body will be the same. Naturally that, the natural practice here, the angles that will be produced by the movement will make us move, will make us readjust our positions. But
The essence of the movement, the essence of the technique here will reside here, okay? Control there, hooking the arm, keeping our knees here pointing the outside or maximum up here, because maintaining my knee down gives us opportunity to our partner to smash our legs close together and pass, okay? And from here we develop attack, okay? So again, we start here, partner is on his knees or when he's standing. Again, remember that we hold the sleeves, okay? And holding the sleeves to optimize our control. Remember that we just fold it, creating here little pockets. So, whoop, hook it, and saving the thumb. Okay, so I'm not going to get my thumb inside here. So outside, and what I do? Again, opening, feet on the hips, one knee is already bit of the arms, we hip escape. Following the side, where I have my leg outside, so my leg comes from the outside to inside. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so see that. Knee now points up or to the other side, framing the arm, and we preserve here the opposite arm. Okay, of course, there are many combinations. Okay, spider, half, control the pants, control the sleeve, control the collar. Okay, all right. So, passing this first point here, our entry here, our level of retention and position that we have to work with, we now work our first sweep. Okay, so this first sweep, this first attack, guys, we work on producing momentum. Okay, so we have to produce some momentum to make it easier for me to create imbalance and sweep my partner, finish my position on top. Remember that sweeps are when I start on the bottom and I finish on top. Okay, so we start here controlling the arms. What I want here, first, I'll be trying here to shift a little bit further backwards if I need, because I need to find space for my leg, and I want to place my shin against my partner's belly. Okay, so I place my shin against my partner's belly, my opposite leg here, my left leg in this case, and my grip from the arm goes to the pants. Okay, so I can shift back a little bit, so see that even my feet are to the hips. 1, 2, and I will shift close now. Boom, and I control the pants. So see that I'm always looking for adjusting and readjusting my positions. Okay, so see that I keep the sleeve under control. My shin goes to his belly. I'm getting closer. Okay, I'm not. I try here not to create too much space. Okay, because if I create too much space, naturally my partner will have space and mobility. So I try here to be close to him. Okay, and as I have that contact and I hold the leg, remember that I said something about momentum. We are now going to push. I will push my partner back and predicting already potential reaction. Okay, and his reaction will be trying to deliver his way back. Okay, because I will push him, he's most likely leaning backwards, he's trying to return. As soon as he tries to return, then I'll be, by using my frame, so see now we have 2 frames, shin against the biceps, shin against the belly. I'm going to bring my partner over my legs and drive him laterally. Okay, so I will make my partner roll forward theoretically. Okay, so I grab his pants here, holding here by the way, when I grab the pants here, I'll be holding below the knee. So it's going to be something like this. See that? I will hip escape. 1, 2, shin goes to the belly, and I hold. Remember that we do not hold inside. Okay, I hold here outside. So I just fold it again, creating a little pocket, and I hold the pants. Okay, now let's create a momentum. So I'm going to extend both of my legs. I want to push my partner, and again, as soon as he returns, I pick him over and over my frames, my legs. So 1, 2, boom. As I pick him over, see that I will keep on driving to the side and lifting up the leg, pushing, and see that my partner lands on his shoulder. I will conserve naturally the grip on the leg, because it helps me, and I will just slide my knee. 1, knee on the floor, 2, 3, side control position. Okay, side control, naturally dominant position where we can develop potential submission. Okay, go again. Well, first step, remember that our begin will be holding the arms, right? Remember creating those little pockets. Boom, hold 1, 2. We open our guard, right? So we open the guard. 1 knee already be top of my partner's arms, the other leg naturally will be outside. I will hip escape, because remember that guard open demands mobility, so we try here to be on our shoulders or almost there. Knee, remember, I hook my partner's arm, my leg comes from the outside to inside, I hook my partner's shoulders, knee remains up or point to the outside. I will try not to keep my legs close together because I know that my friend here is just expecting that to smash my legs and pass and consequently here control my hips. So I keep it up, then again, I need to space. So if I need space, what I do? 1, 2, and remember that it's a quick movement. I will go for the leg. Okay, so I go for the leg and I'm constantly getting closer, closer, closer. Why? I want to engage, I want to contact. Okay? Now, remember, we need momentum. By momentum will be, I will extend my knees, like even sometimes like bridging a little bit here, putting, putting my weight on my shoulder, and already predicting the return. So my partner leans back, of course that he's going to be slightly off balance, he will try to return. As soon as he returns, I'll bring him over and I drive him laterally. So my partner lands on the shoulder, okay? So I will push as he returns, boom. And then see that I extend my knee here so I can even kick him, not kick him, but I push him a little bit with my shin and conclude my position on top. Now, remember, we try here to 1, knee on the floor, 2, and again, side control position. Okay? One more time. Okay, so we have already guard open. Remember that? Protection. Working on, boom, placement, frames, feet on the hips. Okay? Holding both arms. Remember? Folding the sleeve, hip escaping. 1, 2, I hook. Remember that knee points up or to the other or to the outside, shin goes to the chest, to the belly, sorry, and I will shift, holding the pants, closer, 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 okay? See that? I have good protection here, okay? Even if my partner decides and he will eventually react somehow, because that's the nature of the game, I will be able here to hold him, to control him, okay? See that? There's no moment where he's totally free to pass my guard. Okay, so I'm always working here, guys, connecting movements, working a sequence where I'm constantly having some sort of control. I'm constantly having some the lasso, placement on the shin. If I don't have placement on the shin, I'll have a foot on the hips. I can combine it with the spider guard, the grips. Okay, so remember, the sequence here to build up an attack will depend on protection. Okay, so again, I grab the pants. Remember, we try here to push. As I push, he returns. When he returns, so 1, 2, boom, to the side, slide, side control, position. Okay, so see that. Step number 1, we are basically respecting that very simple and essential concept of the guard, protection. Okay, we're looking for placement, angle. Why? Because the less retention, more mobility. That's very, very, very important. Okay, from the angle that we have and the placement, we produce momentum. Okay, see that we are connecting the sequence of movements based on protection. So I'm constantly protecting my position. And then for the final execution, that includes creating momentum and working the sweep, where we necessarily start on the bottom and finish on top. Okay, so that was our first step, our first sweep. Okay, so we worked on entry. The entry is very simple, always respecting those requisites. And we went over the sweep. Okay, we executed our very simple movement. The second movement now, remember that I said that we could combine lasso with half guard sometimes, or spider guard, or even just foot on the hips. For the second one, we combine here the lasso with, I would say here, partial half guard, okay? Because I won't have a real retention over my partner's leg. I will just place my leg into my partner's knees. So we start here, same situation, my partner is still on his knees. And again, control here, holding the sleeves. Remember, 1, I hook it. 2, we step. One leg here is already in between of the arms. I hip escape. I will hook and I pull. Okay. All right. In this situation here, the combination will be my foot goes to the ground in between of my partner's knees. Why? Because I'm going to combine. Okay. I will combine here the movement of my leg and most importantly my hips with the hook. Okay, because our place here, we commonly call here as our feet, when we bend our toes like I'm doing now here, for example, this thing here, we call hooks, okay? So we hook, 1, I'm going to place my foot on the ground here and eventually hook my partner's leg, and with the combination of movements, as I said, using the leg, using the hips, using my hook, I'll be sweeping my partner again here to the side of the lasso, okay? So see that, I need a little bit of space, so I push, my foot goes to the ground, okay? See that, although here my leg's on the ground, I'm not going to keep my leg here totally inactive on the ground, okay? So it's always on, my knee remains up here, okay? So see that, I preserve the sleeve, remember that, a combination. So what I work now, I will try here too. I also said that we could extend and pull. That's what I do. I'm going to, I pull and simultaneously basically, actually a sequence of moves. I'm not going to pull, stop, and move, okay? So it's going to be 1 and 2, like basically one movement only, right? So I pull my partner to me and right away, knee and hips, okay? So we start here. That's why also one more reason why it's important to be on your shoulder. Why? Because if I work flat on my back, the amplitude of my movement is too limited, okay? So I need this whole angle here, okay? I need this arch, 1 and 2, in order to break my partner balance and eventually work with my hook. That's now without my partner's knees. So here, I will 1, 2, boom, and I use the hook. Okay, so see that I drive him with my knee, my hips, and my hook. Okay, the hook is going to be that extra push that I need in order to improve my position on top. And see that the ending here, similar to the previous one. We let go, 1, 2, and again we are on side control position. Okay, dominant position where we can access the neck and our partner's arms. Besides, of course, on progressions, you can go to mount, or depends on how our partner react. We can also eventually try to take our partners back. Okay, so again, hold the sleeves. I will try here to find the angle. Remember that my angle will be this situation here, of course, following the side where I have the hook. So I will 1, hip escape, hook the arm. See that I hook it, I pull and I push. Okay, knee points up or to the outside. And for this one here, remember that we would drop our foot without our partner's knees, and both of hands we keep. Okay, so we're going to preserve both sleeves. So 1 and 2. Okay, so that's my guard now. Again, what I need here, guys, I will try here to work on 1. So I actually bring 1 and 2. But remember that movement is not only my leg, but I have to engage here my hips. Actually, I have it already engaged. Okay, so as soon as I bend my knee here, naturally that I can produce more power, more force. So what I want, I'm going to pull 1 and 2, boom, and I use the hook. Okay, so see that it's very, very important, guys, to combine hips with the leg and not try here to rely too much on the hook. Okay, because the hook will be complementary. Okay, the hook is going to help me to finish the movement, but I cannot think that, I will only work with the hook. I just generate a little movement here, you work with the hook. Remember, your partner is going to be heavier. Why? Because he's on his knees. Okay, we consolidate our position on top. He's on his knees. Once he's on his knees, naturally that his center of gravity closer to the ground. Therefore, I need to produce more movement, more power in order to break his balance and eventually finish my position on top. Okay, one more time. So, again. So 1, we open here, 1 in between, hip escape, hook, pull. Remember that we are going to place foot on the ground here, but already partially hooking our partner's leg. Remember that I need that movement. So 1, 2, boom, and I use the hook. Let go, and we are on top. Okay? So that was our second sweep. See that? When working with lasso, guys, we always prime for what? Control, retention, as we spoke already, and mobility. See that? For the first and second movements, I have to work on my shoulder. I have to be on my side. I cannot, for example, start flat on my back, because then I will limit the amplitude of my movement. And speaking specifically about the lasso guard, limiting the amplitude of the movement makes your guard essentially defensive. Okay, so it's going to be more difficult. We can never state that it's going to be impossible, but it's going to be more difficult for you to develop also an attack. Okay, all right. So first and second movements, lasso guard, and we have driven our partner to the same direction. Now we are going to observe a potential reaction. Potential reaction. We can speak about many reactions. Okay, there is always a condition. My partner can, as you said, he can be on his knees, he can be standing, he can step right foot, he can step left foot.
So based on one potential reaction, we now work on our third attack, our third sweep, okay? So now, again, my partner is on his knees, okay? And again, we approach our guard regardless, okay? So I will, again, open, feet on the hips, hip escape, work my lasso here, and play my guard, right? Now, as I said, potential reaction, okay? My partner will step his opposite foot. Okay, so he steps. So he's stepping there. Why? He may try to approach my guard like that, okay, with one foot on the ground. He may maybe now initiating his movement to be totally standing, and then from there initiate his guard passing. So again, we have many ways to deal with this position. Okay. All right. So as I know that clearly my partner has stepped his foot and he's lighter. Okay, that's a good point here, guys. If my partner has both knees on the ground, he's much heavier. As soon as he steps, he becomes lighter. So of course he has more mobility, but he's also lighter. And I can also play with the situation. Okay? So what I want now, I have both grips, and what I need now, this hook here, my lasso, goes across. So I'm trying to place my foot under my partner's knee. Okay? So see that. I will first shift, and briefly my back's going to be on the floor. So hook goes up. I just bring my foot out here. 1, 2. Okay? So I shift and my back now is on the floor. So again, my foot up. 1, 2, and I hook. And see that I place my foot under my partner's knee. Oh, shit. Professor. I hook my partner's knee. Okay? Why? Because if I slide my foot next to the hips, then he's much heavier. Because I have to do with basically his, the whole body weight. Here, I'm basically dealing with the leg, okay? So I hook his knee and preserving the sleeves. See that my opposite foot that was on the hips now goes on the ground. Why? Because for the execution, the final execution of this movement, guys, what do I need? My leg, I have, of course, because I'm going to extend my knee, but I can combine here the whole body. So I get engage my whole body, guys, to push my partner to the side. Okay, so I step, preserving both sleeves, then what do I do? Step, extending here, boom, and I sweep. So see that I push him to the side where I had control of the sleeve. So see that for the 3 sweeps, all of the 3 movements that we worked today, we were driving our partner to the same side. Of course, that respecting potential peculiarities, respecting potential aspects, but we were sweeping to the same side. Again, I can let go and side control position again. Okay? Again. So, remember, holding the sleeves, placement, hip escaping, hooking. Again, my partner steps. Potential reaction. Okay? So he reacts on stepping his opposite foot to the ground. Now, lighter. If he's lighter, we can, of course, work with that situation. So what I do here, remember that my hook from the arm goes across, always understanding that I preserve the sleeve. Okay, so I'm not going to let go the arm. Okay, my hook goes there, but I preserve the arm. So foot, I bring my foot, I shift, go back on the ground, briefly, boom, hook the knee. My opposite foot goes where? Step. Okay, again, I can even elevate my hips during the execution. Both hands under my control. So see that hand on the ball, on my belly. The other hand here remains under my control because of the primary lasso. Now, what I do, remember, I will extend my knee here and I sweep my partner to the side. As soon as I sweep, I try here to bring my leg out. But in case if my partner eventually locks my leg, no problem. You can try to end up here on a potential half guard. But if there is a chance, always, guys, you see the opening, you try always to advance towards the most favorable position. Okay? One more time. Oh. Open, 1, 2, hip escape. Again, we hook the arm. Remember, potential reaction, my partner steps. As he steps, 1, foot, circle my foot, shift, back on the floor, hook the knee. Remember, we hook the knee. Okay, hooking the hips, my foot goes close to his hips, he's much heavier, becomes more difficult. Okay, I have to employ more power. So, step 1, I will just extend, and remember, foot on the floor gives me that potential. I can generate more power. So, 1, 2, boom, extend. Bring my leg out if I can, and lean on side control position. Okay, so see that for the first, second, and third attacks, the placement was lasso, situations where my partner had knees on the ground, but we understand that He can be standing, he can step one of his feet as he did in the last movement, he can step the opposite foot. So the context of the guard will offer many potential situations, okay? And we were working towards the side where we had the lasso, okay? We could work on retention there and drive our partner to that point, okay? So see that the understanding of the lasso guard follows that basic and very essential understanding of the guard. Of course, naturally we're speaking about the guard. And guard open. So remember guys, every time that you are dealing, we are trying to develop a guard, learning a guard, we always have to understand that more retention, I can eventually afford less mobility. But if my level of retention reduces, I must have more mobility. I must employ more mobility. I have to work with more mobility. Why? Because comparison-wise here, partner on top will have more mobility than partner on the bottom. Okay? So those were our attacks we worked on. First sweep, we worked on lasso, finishing here. Let's see all of them. So lasso here, one, hook the arm. Remember that we are placing the shin against the belly. We were shifting closer, grabbing the pants. Remember that momentum was important. Okay, why? Because we would push, return here, and we drive our partner to the side. I swing the legs, let go, and side control position. Okay, that was our first movement. The second one, another combination available. We were opening, hip escaping, lasso, but then my foot was potentially hooking my partner's leg. We can call here maybe combining with the half guard, okay? And gripping, remain on the arms. Remember that we would combine here movement of the leg and the hips. That's why, or one more reason why, guys, it's very important to be on your side, okay? And not keep your back flat on the floor. Why? Because my movement will be limited. So I try here to improve the amplitude of my movement. So I pull 1, 2 hips and work at the hook. 2, and again, side control position. And finally, we had our last movement where my partner was stepping, okay? And observing that there are many potential reactions, okay? So 1, 2, my partner steps. Remember that as he steps, foot comes, cross, hook, step, kick, and we again conclude our position on top. Okay? So all of those attacks based on our partner's potential reactions and combinations. Okay? So that was our Lasso Guard class. I hope that all of you guys enjoyed, and see you next time on the mat, guys. Os.